Welcome back to Cookie Crumb Fun. I have been put a lot of thought and prayer into giving you my summary of my fuel cycle, and I wanted to share with you all that I have learned. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I'm like this wise one, but this last fuel cycle has opened my eyes to so much more than the one I did like about a year or so ago. And I have to tell you, the only revelation that I can remember from the last fuel cycle I did was that I wasn't eating enough vegetables. The stuff that I learned this time that I'm so thankful to the Lord for is so much better, so different. So I'm going to share that with you. So I'm going to share with you part one of what I learned on this fuel cycle. Now, before I go into the things that I've learned that I want to share with you, that the Lord opened my eyes to, I want to let you know how much weight I lost, because that is one of the things in a fuel cycle that we do look forward to experiencing, is a greater weight loss. Now, about a year ago, I did a fuel cycle, and I lost 6 pounds during that fuel cycle, so that's pretty good. And we had a little contest going with the kids. I had them all pick a number. I told them how much I did last time, and I had them all pick a number and get a prize, whoever's closest. Well, I got 3 kids that were closest to my amount, but some of them were going like 10 pounds, and I'm like, thank you, you know? I'm like, do you really think I lost 10 pounds? But what I did was I lost 4.8 pounds, like just about 5 pounds. So I'm pleased. I did not do this to lose weight. This before, the ones I've done in the past, I did that to lose weight, extra weight. This one, I did not. I did this to open my eyes to see the bad habits that I formed and how I can correct them. And that's exactly what this feels like it did to me. And it was fun doing it with the other ladies over on Instagram. I'm so glad that you joined me, and the small group of us just encouraged each other each day with our meals. I am blessed. So anyway, I want to share with you right now what I learned. Like, I'm going to get my notes. The first thing that I'm going to share with you is what I learned about each food type during this fuel cycle. When you're on fuel cycle, there's a lot of foods that you can't eat and you shouldn't eat. Now, it's not that you can't eat them. All right, this is where it kind of like went crazy my first couple of days. I ate a couple foods that people think you're not supposed to eat on a fuel cycle, and they pointed it out to me. All right, and so I felt a little bit defeated, because whenever we do something that, you know, is wrong, you know, like when you misspell a word. Oh, did you know you misspelled that? You know, the grammar police come out, and even though you're doing what you feel is right, it's hurting the other person. All right. So grammar police, keep it to yourself. Okay. But anyway, you go to a list of foods that they tell you not to eat on a fuel cycle. And if you look at it, it says not recommended. Nowhere does it say, do not eat these foods, for your fuel cycle will be completely ruined and it's a waste of your time. Okay? I ate an avocado. I ate some tomatoes. What was it? It was mostly the cheese on the burger I took off, so I fixed that. But that avocado thing, it did, and you guys noticed how I felt. You know, you could tell in my voice that I felt a little bit defeated, and I did. And I appreciate it so much. Yes?
Is Dad in there?
No, he's not. I'm making a video.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't know where he is. So with that burger, I took the cheese off and I fixed it. But I still ate avocado, and it was pointed out to me how you're not supposed to eat avocados. So I go to the list and it says not recommended. Okay? When you don't recommend to do something, it doesn't mean don't do it. It means, you know, I recommend that you shouldn't do it. I highly recommend, you know, you probably shouldn't do it. Okay? So if you eat an avocado, it's not over. And that's how I looked at it. I'm like, it's an avocado. It's not like I just ate a pint of ice cream. You know, it's not like I got out the Ben & Jerry's and chugged down a shake from a pint of Ben & Jerry's that I make, or made a sundae. Okay? There you go. The pros and cons of it all. So, the other thing on a fuel cycle, something that I didn't do, because that was done to me, this nitpicking of ingredients. You're not really supposed to have a whole lot of frankenfood on a fuel cycle. And when somebody does have some frankenfood, you don't say, well, you're not supposed to eat that. You know you're not supposed to eat that. You're not supposed to eat that. Okay, you need to throttle back. If you're that person and you know you are nitpicking what people are eating on whatever diet it could be. I mean, it could be keto, it could be Weight Watchers, it could be Whole 30, whatever it is. You know, try not to be that person because it's very discouraging to who you're giving that information to. You think you're helping, but you're really not. You're discouraging, okay? So it would be really helpful to just, like I said, keep it to yourself, all right? And I'm saying it nicely. I because it hurt. I experienced it. I was not excited after being told this. I'm like, oh, well, you know, it's one mistake, you know. Like I said, it wasn't a pint of ice cream. Because you know what? I could have went to the ice cream by the way I felt. You ever get defeated and then you're like, ice cream, chocolate, whatever it was. So now I'm going to go into what I learned after I said all that. Okay, deep S. I wrote down everything right here. Oh my word. Well, the obvious thing is that I learned is I don't eat enough vegetables. And the thing is that I wrote this down later on. I don't eat enough with breakfast and lunch. Now dinner, I always have a vegetable side dish. So I get a vegetable with dinner. But with lunch and breakfast, I'm not getting enough. So I need to eat, like for lunch, I'll eat like leftovers and I want to eat it quick. I'm a homeschool mom of 7. I want to eat lunch and get back into finishing things. And I don't make a salad. I don't make something nice on a side dish, you know, which I need to do. Even if, oh, the wind's picking up. It's starting really windy outside. Sorry, rabbit trail distraction, squirrel, right? So that's what I need to do. I need to make sure I have more vegetables. Now I am bringing more into breakfast and I found ways that works for me, but lunches are still hard. Even this last week of eating still on plan but not on fuel cycle, I still noticed, oh, that's where I do it. That's what I'm doing wrong. All right, so now the other thing, I thought more about healthy fats because when you have a deep S, what do? You have to find the healthy fats. The oils, the coconut oil that you're going to eat from, the healthy fats in your eggs and the foods. Those are the healthy fats. And an avocado is a healthy fat as long as you don't overdo it. And that's what I noticed. I'm like, I need to concentrate more on where these healthy fats are and how much I'm putting them in my food. Like instead of just coconut oil spray, I need to put like a scoop of coconut oil in my pan to get that healthy coconut oil. And the palm oil, I've noticed that that's really good with eggs. So I've been using the red palm oil. These ways of drizzling olive oil on top of some S foods, that's great. That's a way to turn a fuel pull into an S too. If you want a lightness and your fat be the olive oil or the coconut oil, the red palm oil, you can do it that way. So that's what I've realized. I'm like, there's so many more ways to incorporate these healthy fats. And the other thing I realized is I ate too many heavy S meals. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. It's laden with cheese and cream cheese and whipping cream. Way too many. Now I know that I can blame it. Oh, my family likes it. My kids eat it better. Yeah, it's true. They do. But, you know, they could use a little less cheese. They could use a little less cream cheese as well. So I am going to be more mindful of the less heavy S's that have all the fats from the cheeses and the dairy products, right? That brings me back to my last thing I learned about Deep S is how to cut back on dairy or exclude dairy. I hardly had any dairy except a sprinkle of cheese, and I might have put something in my coffee one day to see how I noticed a difference. I can't remember exactly, but I had just sprinkles of Parmesan cheese on a couple things. So I basically had no dairy for this 2 weeks of the fuel cycle. And I gotta tell you, I noticed changes in my facial skin. My acne is a whole lot less, and I have red cheeks. I don't know if it's that rosacea or not, but ever since I had baby number 5, I've had the redness around the cheeks. And I was told to have fish oil, that would take it away. When I'm faithful to taking the fish oil, it does help it, but it doesn't get taken away. But by not eating dairy for like the last 3 weeks, it's going away, and so has my breakouts. I am no longer putting half and half in my coffee. I hardly had any cheese this week, except last night I made a piece of quesadilla. So there's my big gob of cheese. And I'm going to, in the future, make cheese replacements, that Hello Cheese, I think is what they call it, and then look into some other things to see. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go drastic and go 100% dairy free, but I also know that I've seen a difference in such a short time that I should do something about it. So that was a big eye-opener. When the 2 weeks are over and I look at my face, I'm like, wow, I'm looking in the mirror going, Claire, is that the same you? It looks amazingly better. All right, now on to E's, okay? E-meals, a lot of people are scared of e-meals. I'm no longer scared of e-meals. I really wasn't scared, I just wasn't eating them as well as I should and as creative as I should in the fuel cycle brought my eyes opened to the creativeness that you can get out of an email. Carbs are your friends, okay? We need to not be afraid of them. There are so many delicious emails out there that we're not trying because we're afraid of trying the new carbs. And I found out that sweet potatoes are my new best friend. Now, it probably wouldn't be smart to have an e-dinner or e-lunch every single day, but an e-lunch has been so easy that Sweetie on steroids was amazing. All right, the Waldorf cottage cheese salad is amazing. They're ease, you know. And the other thing that I found out that the snacks, wait, I think that's on a different lane. Yeah, right here. There's not many e-snacks. Have you noticed that? There are muffins in a mug, there are shakes and fraps and stuff, but I'm talking about like a real snack, and there really aren't any. So you might have to have half a muffin, half a shake, use fuel pulls. I want to not use those. I want an snack, you know, cheese stick and an apple. No, something besides that, okay? Not a drive-through Sue one, you know? It's like a purist one, a put ingredients together type of one. So this is where I need to explore more and find some more things like that. And I also found out that meals are best when I use them for breakfast or lunch. Not that my energy it works out well, but it does. Being a homeschool mom, I need that burst of energy to help get through the day, get through the afternoon. So I think that's where I want to concentrate more of my meals. I am going to throw some into dinner because I know my children need all those healthy carbs, and I can use it sporadically. Because if you had E for breakfast every day, S for lunch every day, fuel pool for lunch every day, your body's going to get used to it. So that's why it's really great not to have the same breakfast or lunch every single day, to throw in some curveballs and let your body, oh, wait a minute, we were just doing all these carbs, you know? So that's what I learned about carbs. I learned a lot, and it's so good. I mean, I made that blackened mango and black bean chicken. It's in the Trim Healthy table, not table one, the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook. And then I had leftover mango and black bean sauce, and I put it in with a cooked sweet potato that I diced up and put on a stovetop. Amazing, amazing. Then I made a protein shake to go with it. But just the chocolate milk, the chocolate protein powder, it was amazing. So those are great ways to get some ease in. And I've learned so many new. Now I'm going to go into fuel pulls. We're all afraid of fuel pulls just like we're afraid of E's. And because S's are so satisfying, right? Well, you know what? Fuel pulls are not as hard as I thought they were. Now, I knew that they weren't hard, you know, but I didn't take advantage of them. I didn't use them as much because I'm like, there's too much thought into it. You know, I got to make sure there's not enough fat. Got to make sure there's no carbs in it. Got to do this, you know. And you don't want to spend that time doing that. You just want to make some food. Well, it's so easy to get a fuel pull dinner. Did you know that you can have a fuel pull dinner? Yeah. The egg white quiche thing was a fuel pull dinner, and it was delicious. What are the fuel pull dinners? That black pepper chicken, that was a fuel pull. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And it was so tasty. It's like my new favorite meal for Timothy Mama. Okay. Fuel pulls, you need to stack them with a lot of vegetables, with the non-starchies, because it is a great way to fill up on your vegetables and make sure you get your vegetables. Like, think about some foods that are fuel pulls, like, you know, egg whites, chicken breast with no oils, cooked in no oils or whatever. And then you could throw in a fuel pull salad and don't use any dressing. Just use like the everything bagel seasoning, or use maybe like a spray of some oil that's really quick. Like if you have an oil spray, and then put some chicken breast and then a whole bunch of veggies, and boom, you got a fuel pull salad, and you're going to be full because you have the chicken breast and you have all the veggies. So there are ways, and you just got more veggies for fuel pulls. And I found out that fuel pulls are not tasteless and yucky. They're delicious. They're so delicious, and they're filling. All right. I was full after eating that creamy, creamless chicken. It was so good. I was full. Just like with e-meals, you think like, oh, you know, because with e-meals, you're really not supposed to have seconds and thirds, where we might do that with S meals, you know. And e-meals fill you up when you have that sweet potato all chopped up in pieces, and then you throw in your chicken breast and your black beans or whatever, you know, things that you put in it. It turns out to be an amazing filling lunch or light supper. So I also learned that I need to make them more for breakfast and lunch, because those are the meals that they're going to be easiest for. So I don't make my family have a fuel pull. And it was really, even though I made 2 casseroles, an S casserole and a fuel pull casserole for that one Saturday night, it really was too much doing 2. And I don't want to have to make separate meals. Even though my kids ate an on-plan meal, I don't want to have to do that every single time. And so this fuel pull quiche, I could make one and just have it for the weekend breakfast type things or weekend lunches. And it's going to work out just great, that quiche. But I do need to, just like E's, breakfast and lunches I think will be my E's and my fuel pulls. And those are just a few things that I learned about these. Now you might be watching this going, well, I already knew that, Claire. I learned that already. Oh, I'd already eat I'm not afraid of carbs. So be it. But this is for people who, you know, have fallen into the traps that we fall into after being on Trim Healthy Mama for years. And that's another subject that I'm going to talk about next week, because the personal choice thing, I'm just going to make a little blurb about it, okay? We all have our personal choices. I have them as well as you do. But this fuel cycle, some women have said things, some wise have shared their wisdom on the foods, and I'm like, wow, that's great. You know, personal choices, that's just our excuse to eat off plan. If it's a personal choice, that means most likely it's not on plan. I see around Instagram, and I'm really not on the Facebook groups anymore. I'm done with Facebook. But we tell people, oh, we're eating this. This is my personal choice. Yeah. Now, that personal choice item, like say you're eating the protein powder that has the sugar in it, yes, it's a very small amount of sugar. But you know what? After eating it for as long as you do, your body's still getting that sugar. You're not omitting all that sugar. You still have it, you know, in your system. You know, if you eat the off-plan syrup, you're still eating that maltodextrin. If you're eating a sweetener that kind of is on plan, kind of isn't, part of them is, you know, there might be like man-made ingredients in the sweetener, like Splenda, but you're like, well, that's all I can take. Well, you know, there might be reasons where you can't have some of the foods, and I'm not talking about you if you're not allowed to have some of the on-plan ingredients, if you're allergic to them, or if, you know, you can't afford them. I mean, I couldn't afford a whole lot when I first started Trim Healthy Mom, and that's why I was basically, you know, a no special ingredient girl, plus there was no special ingredients 5 years ago. But we make so many excuses to eat foods that we're not supposed to eat on Trim Healthy Mama, don't we? My hand is up. I will tell you, for the last year or so, I've made so many excuses to why I can eat this, why I can eat that. Well, oh, it's only this one time. Yeah, that one time turns into what? A lot. Another and another and another and another. And that's how I gained those 30 pounds back. So I'm no longer making excuses. I am not going to let my personal choice rule my foods. I'm eating unplanned foods. I, in a way, am not 100% purist, but I am like, whoa, so much a purist now. I'm like, I want the real whole foods that God made and not this made up man-made stuff. I'm still going to have my Dreamfields pasta. I'm still going to make macaroni and cheese. But I think that it's going to be a more few and in between that I have those special foods. And I'm going to eat more of the okra brownies, you know, the zucchini cakes, and the apple oat cakes and stuff, because those are the ones that don't have all the crazy weird ingredients in it, and they're good for you. And there's no excuses. Oh, it's a personal choice, you know? Yeah, it's a fried chip. It's blue, but it's fried still. Oh, it's my personal choice because I like them. Well, that's just your excuse for not eating on plan. Oh, it's sometimes it drives me bonkers, but at the same time, I can understand, because I was that person. I was that person for all that time, and I'm choosing not to be. Claire is different now, and the one thing that I noticed most in this fuel cycle, believe it or not, is I did not feel thin at all. I did not feel skinnier or thinner. Okay, I felt healthier, and I haven't felt healthy since I first lost all the weight. I was, you know, I was a size small. I was an 8 again, you know. I was thinner when I first lost all the weight than when I was in college, but I weighed 10 pounds more, believe it or not. I did. So I'm going to get back to that person that I feel healthy. You know, you eat food, you feel healthy. Well, I felt healthy for 2 weeks. Getting all that junk out of me. It was just so eye-opening. Next week, I'm going to give you part 2, and I'm going to give you, let's see here, what I'm going to change. I made a big list of things I'm going to change on this Trim Healthy Mama diet, and it's not like changes for the better, or not changes for the worse, it's changes for the better of ways that I eat that I noticed. And you know, some of the other things I noticed, I don't have enough snacks around the house. So let me show you here. I made from Nana's Little Kitchen, I made snickerdoodles, on-plan snickerdoodles. Half the kids like them, half don't. I like them because I know what they are. They're a cookie that I can eat and they taste fine. And I know what to expect from them because I'm used to cooking with almond flours and whatnot. The other thing that I noticed was that I have not been drinking enough water. I've been drinking more water. That might be helping my skin also, because I know that has a lot to do with your skin being hydrated. So that is grand. You know, I have this, you know, ever since Trim Healthy Mama, drinking water out of a candy jar is so much more fun than a regular cup. So I drink more water, and that is something that I noticed I wasn't drinking enough. That is all I have for you today, and I will see you next week with another video and part 2. Thank you for watching. Be a blessing.